Well, greetings, faithful followers. I'm Brother Jack Angry, and this is Inferno, the cougar from hell.
Hello, everyone.
And we wanted to take a minute here to give a special shout out to a good friend of ours, our friends at the Shilling Shockers TV show, namely Penny Dreadful the 13th, and her husband and sidekick, Guru the Werewolf. Their real-life counterparts, Danielle Gallagher and Magoo Gallagher, you know, they've had some rough times over the last year or so. Her husband, Magoo, who plays Guru the Werewolf, has been battling cancer, and as you know, with this kind of an illness and the treatments you have to go through to keep it at bay, obviously that takes a toll on a person emotionally, physically, and most importantly, financially.
Family.
Yes, and it takes a toll on the family. I know Penny's, or Danielle has taken up, you know, to try and do her best to cover any lost income by working more than one job. And that's been especially hard on her, and, you know, we salute her for that, and Magoo for everything he does. That's why we want to tell you about a site on GoFundMe.com. It's Magoo's medical expenses, and we'll be putting a link here at the bottom of this announcement here, and it may be on the screen right now. I'm sure you'll be able to see it, but please take a moment to go to the site, follow that link, and donate what you can, even if it's just a few dollars or as little as $5. Every little bit helps. This is going to help Magoo recap or recover what he's lost for wages, what he's lost for, it's going to help make his medical expenses, and it's going to help with the things, give him the peace of mind that he can concentrate on his fight and hopefully make a full recovery. And that's what we're all pulling for here. The crew, myself, Inferna, Brother James, Torrid, Dedra, we're all pulling for Magoo to make a complete recovery. And for him to do that, he's got to focus 100% on fighting his illness and coming back better and stronger than before in 2014. And we want to help that happen. So even if you can't donate, or you can only donate a few bucks, if you can't donate, then spread this around. Like this video on Facebook. Share it with your friends, your family, your Facebook friends, your Twitter friends. Let's get Magoo the support he needs to beat this and to come back stronger than ever. So, I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with Inferna, and from the rest of the crew here at the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. Magoo, keep fighting. Hang in there, buddy. We've all got your back on this.
Show support that there's people out there that actually care.
That's
when
right.
You're in that situation.
And we know that, I mean, I check the site every day, and we know that many of you care. A lot of you have donated. They're at over 50% towards their goal. So with a little bit more love, a little more support, we can get them to where they need to be so that Magoo can focus on his recovery without having to worry about covering these expenses. And we're going to do everything we can, and we hope you will too. So thank you and enjoy. Geez, I don't know where anybody is. I mean, everybody's gone. It's like, you know, once again, Brother Jack is holding the bag, and oh, goodness. Well, let's get on with this, shall we? Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, bringing you another edition of Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem. And, as you can see, I'm all alone. No Inferna, no Dedra, no Lady Torrid, no Ash, no Brother James. Just me and, you know, not even Reggie. Reggie didn't even hang around for this one. You know, it looks like Brother Jack is holding the bag again.
Oh well, I mean, these are the things a horror host here in the great city of Omaha, deep in the bowels of Omaha, Nebraska, here at the Monastery of Mayhem. These are the things we have to do to keep a show going and keep it coming to you because of all the cards and letters that you've all have sent in and all the emails telling us how much you like the show, you like myself and Brother James and Inferna. So we do appreciate all that feedback. So tonight's movie for y'all is the 1959 classic, The Robot vs. the Aztec Mummy. Now, we've shown some really bad films on Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem and the Angry Brothers Omaha Shockorama, but this one holds a special place in our hearts. I mean, this one could actually cause collateral and personnel damage if you were to use it in a war, which is why it's been banned by the Geneva Conventions and several of the Helsinki Accords and so on and so forth. I mean, these movies should never be used against troops on a battle. It comes under the heading of cruel and unusual punishment. That's why I'm making y'all watch it. But anyway, you know, again, there are no such things as bad movies. Maybe just not quite understood by everyone. Maybe just a little tiny bit. But, you know, let's call a spade, people. This film sucks. I mean, I've watched it, and I swear to God, I was really upset because that was an hour and a half of my life that I wasn't getting back again. And I felt kind of gypped, people. Let's put it that way. Brother Jack felt like he'd been screwed, you know. But the movie isn't all bad. I mean, the only thing that could have been worse would have been for Brother Jack to have been watching a hygiene film produced by the Catholic Church. You know, films such as Everybody Poops, you know, You're Going to Hell and That's Concentrated Evil Coming Out of Your Rear End, you know, I Suck, You Suck, We All Suck, so on and so forth. But one of the nice things about The Robot vs. the Aztec Mummy, it was imported in 1959 by the movie theater impresario and chain owner K. Gordon Murray. And as you know from K. Gordon Murray, he was the visionary, and I do use that term loosely, who brought us the Christmas classic Santa Claus vs. the Devil. And frankly, again, it's like, if you watch that movie, we have to wonder what kind of drugs were these people on. Because I've watched that movie half a dozen times, and it doesn't make any sense. You know, you have the devil or his minion Pitch showing up, trying to corrupt this little girl into stealing a doll that she really wants. You know, which in and of itself is a crappy thing to do. So I guess that does make sense that they'd have one of the minions of hell trying to corrupt the little girl into sacrificing her soul for the sake of a toy doll. But come on, it's like, you know, they're making us look bad. I mean, I work for Down Below, and I wouldn't even go to that length. You know, it's like, sorry, you know, kids, we're like the mafia, you know, it's like we're the old school mafia. We don't go after kids, we don't go after, you know, the elderly, we don't go after small house pets like puppies and kitties. At least my crew doesn't, and I firmly enforce that, and anybody who thinks otherwise, they can come have words with me. But anyway, we're going to bring you tonight's movie, The Robot vs. the Aztec Mummy, here on Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem. So crack open a cold adult beverage, settle back, and enjoy all of that imported Mexican goodness. I'll see you at the break. Enjoy. Oh, one other thing before we go. I had a lot of comments on the mugs that James and I use on the show. Thought I would bring another one on. This is our Angry Brothers Big Drunk Beer Stein. You can get this through our website at, you can go to our website at www.theangrybros.com and click on our swag shop link, and it'll take you right to it. It's one of our featured items. It features a very lovely portrait of our anime poster and artwork done by a very talented artist, Todd Mizia, aka the Toxic Zombie. So, and these are only $14.99. They hold a generous 20 ounces of your favorite frosty beverage, which is about the equivalent of 2 cans. So plenty there and plenty to enjoy. So, you know, I'm going to enjoy my beer, and while you watch Robot versus the Aztec Mummy here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. Enjoy. Just like Mama used to make.
How much shock can you take? It will haunt you forever. From the depths of evil comes a diabolic killer of beautiful women. The vampire's coffin. See a vampire's body stolen from its tomb. A psycho killer removes the stake so the vampire can again prey on beautiful women. It's in the vampire's coffin. And to complete a double night of horror, a monster's nightmare of terror, turn loose in a fight to the death.
The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy.
They will bring you a night of terror. We dare you to see them, but don't come alone.
The vampire's coffin.
In an all-new double horrorama show with
The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy.
presented in Hypnoscope.
Well, greetings, faithful followers. Welcome back. What do you think of the Robot versus the Aztec Mummy so far? Isn't this movie crappy? I really don't know how to describe this movie, faithful followers. I mean, this is what would happen if you take too much peyote, mix in a little bad LSD, a little bit of that brown acid, and wash it down with some magic shrooms, you know, and some really bad tequila like you buy over in Iowa out of the trunk of someone's car, you know. You pull up in a shopping mall and you see the little grubby guy with the station wagon going, "Psst, senor, want to buy some tequila?" You know, take my advice, because Brother James buys this crap all the time because it's cheap. And let's face it, it could take the paint off of a dresser. This stuff is so bad. So do yourselves a favor, do your liver a favor, and just say no. But anyway, so back to the movie. What did you think of it? I mean, in case you're just walking in on the middle of this, and the question I would be asking is why? But anyway, as you know, the evil scientist, Dr. Krupp, that's a hell of a name, Dr. Krupp, you know. It's like, what? Then somebody must have searched cereal boxes the world over to find that name. But anyway, Dr. Krupp builds this robot to break into an Aztec tomb to steal a priceless treasure. You know, it's always funny, these mad scientist types. They're always wanting to steal something priceless. You know, it's like, haven't these bastards, these lab coat wearing idiots? Yes, and we know a few of them, don't we, faithful followers? But anyway, these lab coat wearing idiots, don't they ever work for what they get? No, they're gonna want to take the easy way. Let's steal something, you know? It's like, this is the problem with America today. Everybody wants to get it quick and easy. It's like, it's not a cake, you know, it's not a microwave dinner. You don't put it in and push 2 minutes on the keypad and then 2 minutes later you've got a hot meal. No, you've actually got to work for it. Like us. If you want to be evil, work for it. You know, don't expect rewards to fall out of the sky. It just doesn't work that way. I've been waiting for years for my big payoff and it ain't happened. But speaking of big payoffs, I hope everyone's remembered to get their taxes in. Remember, file early and file often. But, you know, Brother Jack will be doing that here this week, and he's not looking forward to that. Thank God I've got plenty of alcohol here. It's good beer, you know. Milwaukee Beast, I think it is. $1.99 a 6-pack at your local Walmart. Go pick some up today, faithful followers. Now the film, again, as I said, this was imported by K. Gordon Murray, most likely to cover the summer months because he had the winter months and the holiday seasons covered with his Santa Claus versus the Devil. He also imported 3 other films in this series. I don't remember what the titles were, but they were all noted to star well-known, at least in Mexico, Mexican luchadors, such as Mil Mascaras, El Rey, which means the king, and the Blue Demon. Yeah, sorry about that. Had rented lips. And all of these wrestlers are quite famous for their flamboyant antics, both in the ring and out of it. Mil Mascara, as a matter of fact, and El Rey and El Santo, the Saint. Yeah, like, way to go, Catholic Church, you know, great product placement, you know, gotta love their advertising department. You know, if only we had their numbers. But anyway, we're working on it. El Santo went on to produce a whole series of films. You had El Santo versus the Moon Men, El Santo versus the Vampire Women, El Santo on Mars, and things such as like that. I swear to God they had everything except El Santo gets busted by immigration. You know, show him being led away in his handcuffs, you know, looking for his green card or something like that. But, you know, we have nothing but respect to for our neighbors to the south. And I don't mean Missouri, I mean Mexico. Although, I've been to Missouri, and, you know, let's face it, Mexico, Missouri, kind of hard to tell the difference these days. But anyway, El Santo is still quite popular in Mexico. His movies have an almost cult following, with the resurgence in the luchador movement in Mexico, and it consequently spilling over to this country. You have films like Jack Black and Nacho Libre. You had the cartoon series on the Cartoon Network and Adult Swim called Mucha Lucha. You know, if we've all watched WWE, they've had a few Mexican wrestlers on that, although names escape me at the moment. But believe me, faithful followers, they're there. K. Gordon Murray was on in the fact that he did see the popularity of the masked wrestler movement in Mexico. I mean, go into any shop, especially in Tijuana, Nogales, Sinaloa, the border regions, you're going to see a lot of merchandise like that, and a lot of it is a big draw to the tourist, but it's the local Mexican version of the superhero. I mean, rather a guy wearing cape and tights, you know, you have a guy wearing a wrestling leotard and a mask going around doing essentially the things Superman would do, except he doesn't, you know, stop bullets and all that stuff. And, you know, and we won't even talk about Batman. What a weirdo. You know, guy running around in a black outfit and a mask, you know, it's like, not that that would happen these days. Sorry about that, Phoenix Jones, you know, we forgot, but nothing but love for you, pal. Anyway, we're going to get back to the movie, The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy, here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. Enjoy. Well, greetings, faithful followers. Welcome back. What did you think of Robot versus the Aztec Mummy? Wasn't that movie scary? Yeah, right. Well, I am not buying it either. So it's like, you know, but it's all we had to show. So I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Now, we did give this movie, we did review this movie and rate it for our program, Movie Night Live from the Monastery of Mayhem. And we gave it 1 Reggie for the fact that this movie is so bad, it's actually good in a lot of ways. I wrote a few notes on it, so let me just grab my paper here, and because, you know, Brother Jack, his brain don't work so good after like 3 or 4 of these, but hey, it's like James isn't the only one that can drink on the air, and that's why we film the show the way we do, because frankly, we like our beer. Excuse me. Good beer, though. Alright, well, the film I did want to mention has 2 of the most devious characters ever to enter Mexican cinema. Dr. Krupp, the evil genius, and his hapless sidekick, Bruno. Now, Dr. Krupp is actually quite the evil genius. During a flashback in the film, we find that he is clever enough to disguise himself as a pro wrestling bad guy, the Bat. Who'd ever suspect a mad scientist dressing up as a pro wrestler and calling himself the Bat? Not me. What about you, faithful followers? I didn't think so, but hey, I had to cover it anyway. You know, it's pure genius. He escapes the Aztec mummy and his own snake pit trap. Probably he wouldn't have been very happy because he did... he built that, and he had his secret escape keys with him, you know, so it might have been a little hard for him to get out of that in real life. But, you know, Bruno, his assistant, is one of the very few loyal sidekicks that we've seen in any of the films we've watched here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. This guy puts up with being punched by the Aztec mummy, having acid thrown into his face, and becoming deformed, and tolerating a boss who thinks he's a wrestler. You know, that's got to be the final. That's adding insult to injury as far as Brother Jack is concerned. That'd be like my boss, you know, coming out of his office wearing a pair of leather chaps, assless leather chaps, and, you know, flexing and, you know, saying things like, "I'm gonna get you at WrestleMania!" And doing this, you know, and little Mean Gene coming out to interview him. It's like, I'm sure we've all had that dream at some time or another, but Brother Jack has, and it's, let's face it, it's after too many of these. But anyway, the film goes on. In one of the dubbed versions, Bruno delivers the classic line, and this one will kill you when you watch it. You devil, better than anyone." You know, so we're going to give the film 5 Reggies, or I'm sorry, we're going to give it 1 Reggies because frankly it stinks that bad. If I were to give it no Reggies, that would just prove I didn't watch the damn thing, and I did repeatedly. But anyway, so that's K. Gordon Murray's The Robot versus the Aztec Mummy. Now, next week, we're going to be bringing you a bit of homegrown horror. We actually have we were contacted by a gentleman named Scott Geider, aka Gruesome Herzog. If you follow the horror movie culture, you would know his review programs, and you would know him on Facebook, and especially if you follow the horror hosts, various horror host pages on Facebook. You know, and unlike our worthy competition, you know, we do follow these things, so we know these people, and you know, we support them in their time of need. And that brings us to an excellent point that Brother Jack was going to make here. Be sure and tune in this Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Vortex, which is www.thevortex.com. That will give you a link to go to the Vortex's live fundraising event, The Howl for Guru the Werewolf. Now, as if you've been following the show, which I know many of you have because I've received a lot of emails in regards to it, Guru, played by the great actor, comedian, ukulele player from Massachusetts, Magoo Gallagher, he has been battling cancer for almost the last 2 years now. And he's actually made great strides towards getting over that disease. His wife, the lovely Danielle Gallagher, aka Penny Dreadful the 13th, has, done valiantly to help keep the incomes coming into the family. She's taken extra jobs to provide money because obviously with the effects of the chemotherapy and other treatments, Magoo is unable to work. And they've started a really great campaign called Magoo's Medical Expenses to help raise money for those, and Brother Jack is himself a contributor. And he'll be, and Penny, Guru, CE, and Sluggo, don't worry, I'll get that donation into you this Friday, I promise. Brother Jack, once he gives his word, he never breaks it. We all know that. So I want you, all of our faithful followers, this will be on YouTube before then. I want you to go to that address, and we'll be putting it up at the end of the show, and we'll flash a link on the bottom of the screen, and you'll see it right there in just a moment. For Magoo's medical expenses, and there will be a promo at the beginning of the show here as well, so you'll have a lot of places to contribute it. But I digress for a moment, but please go and give what you can, even if it's only a few dollars, because every little bit helps. Their goal is $20,000 to cover Magoo's. Their goal is it's $15,000 to cover Magoo's medical expenses, and let's try to get them to that goal and beyond. Let's try to get them to 20 people. Because every little bit helps. Magoo is responding to treatment. He's feeling better, and we hope that he is on the mend, and we hope that, with all our hearts, and that he beats this thing and comes back stronger than ever, because we miss him. We love you, Guru, and we love you, Penny. So hang in there, guys. We're all pulling for you. Now, as I said, next week we're going to actually be doing a review of the Scott Geiter film. He's an actor in the film called Hillbilly Horror. This is a weekly show. Basically, it features indie horror. There's actually some very good movies. It's an hour program. I actually had a chance to sit and watch an episode. They were gracious enough to provide us with one, and we thoroughly liked it. So that's all I'm going to say on that right now. So we hope that you will see it. It's called Hillbilly Horror, and you can Google it on Facebook. It's on Vimeo. Next week's show we'll be doing a more in-depth review about the show, and hopefully providing some clips as well, and there'll be links, and this will also appear on our blog, the Angry Brothers blog and the Jack Angry blog, and you'll see it on the usual Facebook outlets. So I'm Brother Jack Angry. Hopefully Inferna and the rest of the gang will be back next week, and let's hope it's going to get warmer, people. I don't know about you, but I am really sick to death of all this freaking cold. I mean, Brother Jack had to step outside to get the mail and damn near froze off a few things that he would have needed, It's like, don't make me take my cozy off. But anyway, good night, unpleasant dreams, and keep America on top, y'all. Watch horror hosts. Good night.